Saints games than any other player in the history of the franchise. And she is the Saints' wife who made her name helping others in the community. Please help me welcome Stan and Lori Brock. You have a room full of friends. I think you have a city full of friends. And it's great mixed emotions. I mean, you are a legend within the Saints franchise. You are. More games played than anybody and superbly. And now all of a sudden you're going to go.
Right, I'm leaving.
You're leaving.
Right.
Sam,
one thing I'd like to make real clear, though, that I'm not leaving on my own. I did not want to leave. That's not something that I wanted to do. I wanted to stay here and finish my career. I have 4 children, and they were all basically raised here, you know. The oldest is 13. I played 13 years, so she's spent her whole life in Louisiana. So it's very difficult for us and our family to have to pack up and move. And a lot of people who I've talked to this last week since I've been down here don't understand why I wanted to leave. But I want to make sure that that's clear, that I didn't leave. I was given no option. I was told that they didn't need me on the team anymore. They're going a different direction.
Is there any opportunity for discussion on that?
Sure.
Between you and the coach, or you and Mr. Finks?
No. I thought you wanted to discuss it with me.
Oh, I'd love to discuss it with you, but I'm not important.
No, I don't think so. I think that it was a decision made by Jim Mora, along with Paul Boudreau, who's the offensive line coach, and they did what they felt like they had to do. And no, they don't call me and ask me. If they would have called me and asked me, I'd have begged them to stay. But I basically found out through media that I wasn't going to be on the team, so I called Coach Mora and we talked about it, and he said, yeah, that's the way it is.
I happened to see Coach Mora on another program recently, last week, and he was commenting to the question of, it's got to be tough, and I think he was really referring to you. There were no names mentioned. It's got to be tough to let veterans go.
Oh, I think it is.
It is, and the fact that, and he reminisced about all the experiences that you guys go through, the tough times, the good times, those moments. But that's kind of what the business is.
Right. You know what, going in, you know what, the first day I came to New Orleans as a draft choice, I knew that that day was going to come. And you see it every training camp. Probably the hardest cut-down time of all is the last cut, because that's when the veterans get cut. Always, if you'll ask the coaches, always that's the worst day of practice. That's the worst practice we have, is the last cut-down day, because usually that's when the older guys go. So it's very difficult. And like you're saying, you've been to war with these people, and it's really just a game. It's the same game that kids play on the street, but it's hard to separate the game from your life. You know, really, that's all Stan Brock does. I really don't, have too much else going for me. I know how to play football. I was thinking, what the heck am I going to do? It's hard for me to go to corporate America and say, well, I can draw a defense and I can pass block, but I don't know what I can do for your company. So it's a very, very difficult thing to
I think there would probably be a lot of corporate people who may be listening to this that would say, I think a guy of the many characteristics and qualities you have would fit just fine.
Well,
but you have to understand. I'm going to talk to Lori for a second, because oftentimes it is tougher on the wife.
It was really a heartbreaking situation when we found out for sure that we were not coming back. There was a time span of about 2 weeks when we knew we weren't coming back here, but we didn't know where we were going to be. And it wasn't so hard for myself in thinking that I don't know what I'm going to do without football, but seeing him hurting like he was, it was really hard.
And you have 4 magnificent daughters. You are surrounded by great women.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
But that is tough. And you're talking about a 13-year-old and their whole lives here. And how were they accepting this?
It was very difficult, especially for our second youngest, Rachel. She cried for 2 days. And everybody, had their little crying bouts and reasons why they didn't, understand why we couldn't come back. But now that we're going to San Diego, it's very upbeat. We've always tried to make the transitions as best we can when we move back and forth from here to Oregon. And so now we'll do that from San Diego.
Some would say you're 35 years old.
Right, that's correct.
You're healthy.
I feel good.
You But the fact is, you can still get hurt in football, and maybe this is the time to hang up those cleats and say, I had one glorious time.
Yeah, maybe. Not for me, because I enjoy this so much. I really, like I said before, my whole life is basically surrounded by football, and I enjoy going to practice. I enjoy training camp. Enjoy the camaraderie and the fellowship of all my teammates. You know, the equipment managers and the trainers. I enjoy every part, every phase of the game. So I couldn't give that up. That's the part that's too much for me to give up. You don't go into a game thinking, gee, I might get hurt, or this could be the end of last year of my career. I don't do that. I'm sure that the people who really enjoy their jobs never worry about the problems. They're all looking for the positive things, and that's something that I've always done. And I think that if I did enjoy the game, then I would, like, I could give it up easy then. That would be a problem. I don't think I could play this game for the money. There's too much other, for lack of a better word, BS that goes on inside the game, the politics, to just play it for the money. I don't see how anyone can do it.
There is joy, and you're playing it for the joy.
Oh, I love it. Oh, heck yeah. Like I said, it's the same game the little kids are playing across the street and getting muddy and having a good time with.
A little different, though.
No, it's really not. Same football field. It's the same. Everything's the same. You know, in basketball, they lower the nets for the younger kids, but in football, they don't. It's the same field. Football's a little bit smaller.
The kids are just a little bigger.
Yeah, there's some big kids, and they're getting bigger, too, I've noticed.
I want you to kind of go back in time. You were here, #1 draft pick in 1980. Who was the coach then? It wasn't...
Dick Nolan.
It was Dick Nolan, okay.
Right. And Dick Stanfield was my line coach.
Okay,
Correct.
and so those days and how the Saints have changed, we've had quite a fascinating history.
Right.
And some of the high points that you look
Well,
back
like you said, in 1980 when I got here, the Saints had just come off of an 8-8 season. They had 4 people in the Pro Bowl. And I'm going to mess them up, but I'm going to try. Archie was in it, Wes Chandler, tight end, and I can't think of his name.
Come on, guys.
And Tommy Myers. Henry Childs, thanks. And Tommy Myers. And so everyone was looking forward to a great season. And I was drafted in 1980 and basically given the job to play right tackle as a rookie. So as everyone knows, we were 0-14, and those were some tough, tough times. You talk about a group of little family of people pulling together and finding out who your real friends are and who's in it for, you know, for the whatever else you're in it for. That was very obvious. But when we won, I think it was December 17th or 21st in New York. That was the greatest win I've ever experienced in my life. In New York, beat the Jets in Shea Stadium, and that made us 1-14 at that time. So even better than the Phoenix game when we, you know, were finally the champions of the West. That's the one that sticks out in my mind.
There were so many fans at the airport, and it was like we just won the Super Bowl or something. And we won one game.
It is, yeah, right.
But you know, one day, and I don't know if you remember this, Lori, this was a long time ago. I was living on the North Shore. It's game day. We're at a discount store, one of them, Walmart or whatever, and we stopped just for a second. You had toothpaste. I just had to get out. I'm so nervous. And I thought then, God, it's got to be agonizing. All that day, not just during the game, but the anticipation of it.
Just wanting them to do so well, and you know, our first year in the league, and I thought, you know, I had such great expectations, you know, and you come from a football team that, you know, goes to the Orange Bowl or wherever, whatever bowls, and you think, oh gosh, they just have to win, and you don't want to write a check anywhere because people see your name and his name, and they go, what's wrong, you know, and I don't know what's wrong. I'm just the wife, you know, they don't call me and ask me what's wrong from over there.
You just say, there's nothing the matter with Stan Brock, so there.
And that was a hard year for him, too, being a rookie and having to jump into that line position. He, you know, he was getting holding calls, and people were really getting down on him, and he started putting his helmet back on to go through the tunnels so that people wouldn't hit him with things, you know.
Oh, it wasn't that bad. You don't have to say it wasn't that bad. If I just ran, that's where I got my speed. I wouldn't run.
Would he be cranky after a loss?
Stan's always been really good about that. When he comes home, the game is behind him, and it's on to the next game. And I think he, like he said, he is a very positive person. things would happen, you know, and he would correct whatever he could correct and just go on to the next game.
And he's going on to the next game, and it's our loss. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk more to the delightful Brox right after this. Well, he is truly one of the favorites of the Saints. Stan Brock, his wife Lori, our very special guest today. We're going to miss him. We're going to miss you a lot. And I want to know what you'd think if all of a sudden the San Diego Chargers are in the Super Bowl against the Saints.
What do I think?
Uh-huh.
I think that'd be great. That's kind of everyone's ultimate goal as a player, is to get to the Super Bowl. You know, and you hear so many people say, well, Denver has been there 3 times and lost, and now Buffalo, people are really down on the Bills. But to get there, what a great deal. You know, that's what everyone's goal is. So to get there would be, that would be the, well, not quite the ultimate, but to win it would be the ultimate.
But playing against the team that has been your family for so long.
Yeah, I've done it before. When Elo Grooms was with the New Orleans Saints, my best friend was traded to the St. Louis Cardinals at the time. Probably 2 or 3 weeks later, I had to line up and play against him. It was very, very difficult, but once you get into the game, you have to forget, you just forget that. It's kind of like, you don't ever see a face or a person or anything. I have my job to do, and you have your job to do, and good luck to you, and we'll see what happens.
Laurie, you are known as a giver of time, a giver of talent. You have done so much with the Saints' wives. Probably, I understand, more than probably anybody in the history of the Saints' wives.
She's been here longer than anybody in the history of the Saints.
But you know, not everybody does, and you have, and you're going to have to miss that element of your life, too.
I will. I really am going to miss working with the people in New Orleans, because they are the givers, really. The people in New Orleans really do give. I mean, we had the food drive many years in a row, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger, and I really don't know what to expect in San Diego, but I've already inquired about, you know, their charity organizations, and I'll be involved there, but I will miss it here.
Well, something else I think some of us are going to miss, some people at home perhaps might not know, that you're a stand-up comic?
No.
Huh? What is this I hear?
I just have to have a good sense of humor to hang around with all those girls I've ever with. No, Morton Anderson did that. He had a Stan Brock comedy hour. I was simply the MC to some real comedians. I would try my little cut-up jokes, but sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
This is another element maybe the Chargers didn't know about. Now, also I understand that you have the world record for the amount of fettuccine consumed at Impastados. These are important facts.
Wow, these are where you must have dug in hard for these. I don't know. Is there a comment?
Are they going to ship you
Angel?
some out there?
I have no idea. Joe will probably do anything, yeah.
Okay, yes.
I just want to say one thing. As a season ticket holder, I was very disheartened to see that you weren't coming back. But I do wish you luck. I wish you both luck. You both are going to be sadly missed.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, Stan. I want to find out, well, between you and the Saints, well, the Saints in Atlanta, how did you really feel when you two guys got together and when Deion Sanders may have caught himself coming in there and you just leveled him?
What a great deal, man. Deion's a tremendous athlete. You have to admit, you know, no matter what you think about him or his showmanship, he is a tremendous athlete. In the past, we always felt like the fans had built that up to where it was a great rivalry. We've had some real heated games, but I don't know. You like to beat everyone in your division, and Atlanta's just something a little special.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I really don't know why.
It's the crunch of the bones. It's yes.
Could be.
I really don't have a question. I kind of wanted to echo his sentiments that we're going to miss you, and I want to wish you a lot of luck with San Diego.
Thank you.
Hope you have many winning seasons with them, but don't forget, we love you. Come back and see us.
All right. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
I want to also say we're going to miss you a lot, and I was wondering, are they going to retire your number?
Probably not. Probably. I don't know. I tried to steal that jersey, but Dan Simmons got a pretty good grip on it.
Yeah.
Yes, if you do happen to play the Saints in the Super Bowl, if you can block Ricky Jackson, you're the best lineman of all time.
Ricky's a tremendous football player, and that would be one thing. He hasn't missed any games. Hope that would be the one that he'd choose to miss. It'd be a lot of fun.
Let me ask you, because as we all do, if you could have the magic wand, if you were the coach or just this magician that could say, this is what the Saints need to do to win, what would it be?
See, that's not very fair.
It isn't fair.
That's hard.
Other than keeping Stan Brock. No, but all seriousness.
I would, no. I don't know. You know, actually, when you put a group of men together to play the game, and you have a coaching staff who works as hard as that coaching staff works, and the players work as hard as New Orleans works, and I have no clue as how anybody else works in the National Football League. I have no idea how hard San Diego people work. But I do know the New Orleans Saints. So when they work that hard to win, there's so many little things that become huge. An injury, a guy not being able to play that day, you know, not just an injury to be out the whole season, but to have to miss that game. Little tiny things are huge in the game of football. You lose one game or one bad play could change the whole outlook of a season. So to say a person could wave a magic wand, I don't know what you would change or make different. If you could just say everyone's going to be healthy all year, and I think then everyone has the opportunity to win.
But have you ever been on the practice field, or have you ever been in a game and said, you know, we should have done X instead of Y?
That's too easy. That's actually to stand there and after the fact and say we should have done something else is it's too easy of a way out. You can't do that. We work so hard to do X. Why in the world would you want to try and do Y? So,
yes.
I always want to know, how was your relationship with former offensive line coach Carl Mock?
Tremendous. He's a guy who, like you say, coached me for 4 years with bum staff, and is basically the only reason I'm going to San Diego. I have a tremendous amount of respect for him. I like the way he coaches. I like the way he works with people. He calls a spade a spade. There's no BS about the guy, and I really enjoy that. And when I found out that the Saints didn't want me anymore, he's who I called. But I like him a lot.
Okay, we'll take another break. We'll be right back.
The guys will be quite different than what we've been used to.
It is, I mean, 4 girls. I keep looking.
I know.
4 girls. How are you going to
every morning
handle
when I get
this?
up.
4 girls. They're
Now
all
it's
going to be
cute right
teenagers,
now,
all dating and
Right.
driving you berserk.
It's cute now. They're all cute little girls now. But I got 10 years from now, we should do a retake of this thing about 10 years.
Yeah.
Now that you aren't a Saint any longer, which we're all sorry about, what is your opinion, your true feelings about not signing Bobby Hebert, trading Ironhead Haywood, and also...
It's just one man's opinion. My opinion doesn't weigh any more than anyone else's anywhere. Bobby's a tremendous friend of mine, and I think that he carried the whole offense last year. To get rid of Craig Hayward, in my opinion, I think he's a tremendous fullback, and I would have him on my football team. But again, you have to know it's one man's opinion. My opinion doesn't matter. It's way bigger than that. It's a family or a group of people who have to be able to manage together going at one thing, and if they feel like that one person isn't going to work, they have to go somewhere else. So
I just want to know, what is one of your fondest memories of being a Saint?
This is something I really wanted to say, and this might work out. The difference of playing football in New Orleans or anywhere else in the country, they play football all over the United States. Everyone understands that, from Seattle to Tampa, Washington, D.C., and Buffalo, all the way to San Francisco and San Diego. Everyone has a team. What makes playing in New Orleans so special, or playing for the Saints, is the people outside. They play football in all the stadiums, you know. The football game's going to be the same in San Diego as it was in New Orleans. The thing that I'm going to miss the most are all the people who I've met and done so much with outside of football. I got up at 5 o'clock this morning, went fishing with 4 of my best friends. You know, I'm not going to do that in San Diego. It won't happen. You know, I've been Lake Charles all over. I've hunted and fished this whole state. That's what makes this place so nice.
Do you think the fans are extraordinary here?
Tremendous. Fans, to me, are different than supporters. People who support you are the people who are there all the time, good or bad. Fans are people who are there at the high points, at the good times. The support of the state of Louisiana is tremendous. They don't care if you win or lose. If you're a good person, they like you. That's what I liked about it.
And maybe that's why we like them?
All right.
Yes.
There's 1,000 things I'd like to say and 1,000 things I'd like to ask. But God blessed us when he brought you to us. God blessed us when he kept you going, when you came back from the injuries, when you were the man you were on the field and off the field. And we'll never forget you. You'll always be in our hearts. And I thank God.
Boy, maybe that just said it all, but we are all cheering you on.
All right.
And thank you very, very much. Thank you all.